Hey everybody, welcome back to your favorite media response show. It's Sunday night, so we're here. It's X's for show. We're talking all your favorite shit. We're so excited. NICO action, NICO, ACTION.
TK Elemental.
That makes me Tori. That's SM Tori with an I.
Hi, I'm Jonah. I'm also Peak Jonah.
And I'm your producer, KEVO. You can find me at KEVO Really. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment so we know what you'd like us to cover in the future. But like the boss man said, we have some exciting stuff to cover today.
You know, one of the things that I think is so crazy about having settled into this thing where we do the same thing on Sunday nights, right? Like, I love that because sorry, I have so many feels. I wind up with so many feels about a show during the week. And I have so many feels about this week's shows. And I can't wait to all over the shows, right? But I do want to start on kind of like a note. Because now we've all talked about it, and it's just like it would be stupid not to just like take 2 seconds to say what a tragic loss of the Vivienne. Just like you know, you never want anyone to go, but like when Dick Van Dyke at 99 keeps popping up in the news because he's okay, you're like, what a great day. When you see the Vivienne's name pop up, you're like, oh my god, maybe this is it. She's about to break through. She's getting an Ab Fab remake, and like you're not ready for it to be something heartbreaking. That said, Dick Van Dyke, I don't want you going anywhere, and I really hope that there is a drag king named Dick Van Dyke soon.
Everyone
wouldn't it be Dyke Van Dyck?
2025. Ooh, yeah.
I think it's just for lesbian actual name.
Yeah, I mean, in the most loving way, like in the most like tribute to her kind of way. When I first saw the headline, I like briefly saw the Vivienne, and I saw somebody had posted it and put like totally tragic, to be honest, or something like that, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be something hilarious. She just did something really funny. And then of course it was a very sad headline, but like to her memory, I was just kind of, whenever I would see her face, I'd be like, this is going to be something really good. Like, this is going to be a really good dish, or she's going to have done something hilarious. And, you know, if I had to go tomorrow, I would love for people to see my headline and think that immediately.
Yeah, I've only known of her for like less than a year. And she was one of my faves. I had high hopes for this queen. It's always very sad to see them gone far too soon. Far too soon.
Oh, she's stunning. She made UK1. She was a phenomenal winner for UK1, and literally carrying that legacy and making sure that series starts off with a bang. And she had an incredible run on US 7, and literally everything she's done, not even related to the show. She was somebody who was breaking the mold, even like, it's kind of really crazy to think about. She's only 5 years older than me, and like, a massive amount of talent and amazing things she's done is incredible, and it's a heavy loss.
Yeah.
You know, Kevo, did you have anything you wanted to add? I know it's like, what do you even say? Like,
yeah.
Well, then rest in charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, Mama, because you are amazing. And I will certainly be thinking of your lovely self every time I watch UK. But to a less sad note that I hope doesn't take anything away, there are so many other girls in this world now that are going to get to take that beautiful ride of a lifetime and go on that road to the crown. And we got to meet them, and guys, I don't want to get too excited about feeling excited about positivity, because that is what my like, these girls all seem really nice, which like even the ones that are kind of like maybe not so nice seem really nice.
Yeah,
like
that's
there's
fair.
Yeah, I did not get, like, when I first met Valentina, I knew she was the devil. When I first saw Mistress, I knew she was kind of mean. None of these girls give me big time mean girl mistress vibes. I just think there's some girls here that forget that there are other people on the planet, but so do I. I don't let you guys talk.
I will say, though I loved her in Meet the Queens, Corey came off very mean this episode in a way that I was like, I know Boston girls, so I feel like I probably come off like a Boston girl a lot of the time, so I get it. And like, I was like, I don't want this for her. I don't want her to get the plain Jane Roxy Andrews villain edit. But then, and it went all the way through on to most of Untucked, and then at the very end, she's the first person cheering the winner's name. When in behind the scenes when they're all back there, and I turned to my partner because my partner noticed it too, that she's just like, again, we lived in Boston for a long time. They have been up in New England for a long time. We understand New England ice coldness. And they were like, I don't like that presentation for somebody. It never, like, especially when they seem cool, it's never great to also come off as the mean one. And I want better for her. And then we had this moment at the end where she's the first person cheering for the winner of the episode. And I was like, see, there's like, there's more to her. And I was pleased about that, again, only insofar as, you really saw the villain edit that was quite earned with Plain, but at the same time, like, the year that we've had with Plain Jane has kind of, I think, made us all fall in love with her in a different way. So, I hate for anybody to have that experience where just fresh off the show each week, I see your face, Nico.
Well, we've all had that sexualizing and romanticizing leaving Las Vegas doesn't rock bottom feel so good Plain Jane moment, so I get it.
And see, you talked about how you feel these are, mostly nice girls, and I was going to say it's a season of horny twinks, because my goodness, they all just want to bang one another.
And
this is.
I'm telling you right now, Acacia Forgot was like, "You think I'm a twink?"
This is quite a this is like a card game, because this is quite a trade season, is it not?
Yeah, they're all beautiful. The men are beautiful, the women are beautiful. And I have my favorites, obviously, because I'm a horny man. But to get to see Corey and Susie's smiles, like, for me, is amazing. I think they are two of the cuter contestants in a hot minute. Just put that out there. So guys, call me. Hi. But I also love that they were horny for each other, not those two in particular, but the whole cast. Like, I don't know that we've seen a take it off moment like this in a minute.
Well, listen. RuPaul said I will get my showmance if it's the last thing I do, and if I have to put these contestants.
And now she's got to go for a record. How many can I get in 1 year? Let's go.
Listen, I'm gonna date somebody, and then they're gonna host the show. And so
you're doing Vanjie.
That's my Vanjie. It's very good.
To be fair, I thought it was your Candy Muse.
I also thought it was Candy for half a second, but I was like, Katy didn't date a host.
It could have been Candy Muse because there wasn't any girls falling out of their blood-covered teeth.
It's like the season heard me a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Do you know what I want?" And so I'm very excited to see who will be making out on the show and find out more. I don't 100% get behind this trade of the season thing. I almost never have. But Hormona Lisa looks so cute in the confessionals.
I really want Hormona Lisa to take care of me. Yeah.
I know.
Listen. In that one show, Pit Stop, I hate Raven for saying this. She said that she looks like sadness from Inside Out, but Pascal.
Dead for my entire life.
If you combine sadness with joy, genuinely.
And I think that Lexi Love could play Justine Bateman in the Justine Bateman movie. Justine Bateman pretends to be a drag queen. I think it would be unforgettable. So I want to take a second, because I can't not, being the guy who literally has guitars hanging from the ceiling. It would be a humongous mistake if we didn't address the slightly flat elephant in the room.
Sure.
You want to go there first?
I want to get it out right away. I want to go there right away.
Okay, cool.
So
direct it.
I have played for literally thousands of people, and I know what it feels like to be in front of the biggest stage you've ever been in front of in your life. And every one of these girls has played for somebody bigger than me. I'm not trying to throw my weight around. I think I'm coming for all of the people on YouTube who have never opened their mouth in front of a room full of people that wasn't behind a camera. And I'm seeing a lot of just really shitty comments. And I just want to be like, first of all, there are tons of artists who literally can't sing and play at the same time. And it literally holds people back. And there are artists that I adore who purposefully only do quiet individual numbers because they can't do it. And Acacia Forgot went nowhere near approaching my beloved, my queen herself. I think I saw her twice this year, Monet. Monet's talent show is one of the worst showcases I've ever seen of one of the greatest singers I've ever seen on reality TV, because it's a bad showcase of a talented person. And I just feel like there are some weird biases against Acacia Forgot that have to do with, if you say, I like all genres of music except country and rap, you're an asshole. And let me tell you why. Because that actually implies that you think that your whiteness makes you better, and a specific kind of whiteness, a Northeast superiority that makes you better. And that's a phrase that we've worked out of our vernacular. I'm so glad that we have gotten rid of the part that is dangerous in terms of racial identity. By now, a lot of people are like, oh no, I like some rap, but it's country that's gross, because it is part of why we have this insane divide. And there is so much country in everything we do now. One of the longest charting singles of all time is Lil Nas X, and is it Billy Ray Cyrus?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so like, I feel very much like this was a hit job on a genre. It was not a great performance. The performance was a C, but you don't ride a bitch like a roast for a C.
This is such an interesting one, and it comes from all angles.
Something. Okay.
No, go for it. Oh wait, one of us is delayed.
No, and that's just something that I really want to. Oh, I don't know which one.
It's you, Kevy, but go for it. Just keep going. Chug.
Okay. Well, and I just want to say real quick as well, it's not that you can't critique these girls, and it's not that you can't say, like, I don't think that this was a good choice. I think there are a lot of reasons you could say this was a bad choice for the opening talent show of the season. But it's the way in which people are coming very personally and about the specific, like, it's just not about the choice, it's about the content. And I really feel like that is incredibly unfair and really kind of toxic.
I think it's a multi-pronged thing. For one thing, shout out to, I'm going to like slightly divert us, but we're going to have to come back to this later for a longer period of time. Shout out to Katy Perry. Garbage single.
Only time you can say this year. Only reason.
Horrible choice to work with Dr. Luke, but this was incredible. Her presence on Drag Race was so good. She was a fantastic judge. And she really gave in a way that I was very impressed by, and it made me even more disappointed about all of her garbage choices prior to this. But she summed it up perfectly. Like she was talking about, like, I felt like I was back on, like, being a judge on American Idol, and I think the nerves got her, and like that was precisely it. She just felt kind of nervous, and she Katy Perry goes backstage during Untucked later and is like, you kind of needed to like pause and let some of the jokes hit during the song, because I at the very end I was like, oh, she's talking about like fucking a bull, not a cowboy. But it took me a hot minute, and then I watched it again and I was like, oh, she's talking about it the whole time. And because at the very end, in like the last 3 lines, she does stop and punctuate a couple things, and everybody goes for it. And so yeah, she just like, she got a little nervous, and it made the performance not the best. It made it not a winner for the night. And it sucks, because then the other side of it is, I really agree with her. Getting up there and singing live and playing a guitar, I'm sorry, but it's displays much more a mastery of skill and use of, and putting oneself out there than going and lip syncing to a pre-recorded track. The third thing, though, is holy shit, when you look at Lemonade and Milk, there is a degree to which, especially for drag as an art form and as a performance medium that you go to see at a venue, sometimes you really do just go to see people be cool. And sometimes you go to see a girl get on stage, and she might not be able to sing at all. The track is just fully vocoded, auto-tuned to hell. The track's not even that great, but it's got a really solid beat. And then she's fun, like the lyrics are funny. Maybe she didn't even write them, but they're funny. But she gets up there and she sells it, and she just seems cool, and she's wearing a good look. And the dance moves might not even be super professional, but what they are, she nails. And that girl just gave you an A performance by basically not doing a ton, but she was just so cool, and she had the vibe and she had the energy. And then a girl like this will get up on stage fully with a talent that she has, two talents that she has mastered, that she is doing together, that take years and so much work, but the vibe is off and she doesn't give you the energy and the jokes don't land. And so this is a real push and pull of like all the stuff that she did right and all the stuff that she did wrong and all the stuff that the audience brings to it that is fair and all the stuff that the audience brings to it that is unfair. And it really sucks that it came all onto this one girl.
I think I do agree. I think there's so much that goes into this performance because she even started off well with when she was plugging in her guitar. She made it a little innuendo, and I thought that we were going to go somewhere well. And then she did a comedic song, but sang it entirely earnestly. And I don't know if that coincides with one another. Either do an earnest song or do a comedic song. I don't know if you can sing a comedy song like that with full country earnesty. I don't think it was the best performance. I felt like it was also missing a little bit of drag. This was a talented singer, a talented guitar player on stage in a nice look. But what is there? Where is the uniqueness that we asked for?
I just realized in this moment, Jack Black and Fuck Her Gently is literally a drag king. And that is a drag performance. Holy shit.
100%.
Jack Black in Tenacious D is always being the drag king version of this.
And
wow.
But this isn't that, but it's about what we like to talk about a lot, which is the spirit of the competition. And it's about presenting what you need to show of yourself at the start of a season of RuPaul's Drag Race. And I hear what she's saying, that singing a song beautifully does convey more talent than just lip syncing. But that's what this competition is. That's what you're supposed to be showing off.
It's not just a talent competition. You are showcasing what you're doing on the tours. You're showcasing what Voss would be booking you for and what you'll be touring with. And they're going to decide from that whether that's something they want to be pushing. And are you going to sell events? Are you going to sell out venues? Are you going to do whatever for all of the brand, for the touring, for all of that? And there is something to be said that the caca of it all will sell a little bit better or more, so maybe it gets rewarded more. But that's also part of what people want to see. Not that she did bad, and I'm sure if she stays longer, we have another challenge that's more musically inclined. She might be a little bit more fired up to try to do better and more. I don't want the pendulum to swing the complete other direction sometimes. I think we could be honest at like Nico said, I think a C performance. For my money, for me personally, not number 7. Not at all.
Right.
And maybe if this was normal judging, I wouldn't be surprised if she was rated low. But I think part of what it came down to is also this first episode truly was an episode of Big Brother. You should have been playing your alliances and you should have been playing your smarts and trying to make deals with people. Because we saw that with someone, with Arietti, who did not have a strong performance. But truthfully, I think it was saved from the bottom because Lana rated her number 1.
Well, and like, I really want to just agree with you because I feel like, when everybody does a duck walk, isn't it just a goose step? And like, it really becomes a matter of when everyone does the same fucking
you gotta trademark that right now.
Because that's what it is. I mean, It's terrible. Tori, terrific Tori. Talk about terrible problems.
Oh, I don't think she was terrible. Right?
Right.
So for me, I think one of this is it's very interesting to me that she chose the Park and Bark mic stand. This is not a Park and Bark song. It's a goof around, go left, go right, do a funky little cross at some point kind of song. And I think that might have pushed her further up and would have caused her to slow it the fuck down and land the lines. I think she tried today. She really did. Thank you, Andrew. Just complaining it didn't work. So I think for me, which speaking of the Trixie of it all, that if this is what you're showcasing to Voss, who's obviously watching to decide what's going to happen, you have to showcase what you would do on a larger stage. And the coffee house routine isn't it. I think it was a great song. I got the I'm fucking a bull from the beginning because I'm a monster fucker, so that's just normal for me. Two, I think the playing was good, which we've knocked people for before. I think the singing was just fine for a nervous person. We've heard worse, we've heard better. And I just think she chose the wrong way to present it. She's got fringe, she's got a movable look. I really think that she should have just been like, give me a fake Madonna mic, just leave the lavalier that we're wearing anyway on, and do a crisscross applesauce, like a little shimmy down the front. You're done.
Yeah.
And I think that would have popped her up above Arietti in other people's, because to be honest, I also thought Arietti's was gorgeous, beautiful, stunning. Did not see the drag elevation campness that they're looking for inside of it. And I think it was a lot of this, it plateaued for a really long time, which I think puts it a little below things like Raja's dance or Gia's dance or some of the other culture, even Geneva Carr. Mm-hmm. Was that?
Oh, yeah.
Geneva did a variation of this last season, but did it with an original song, La Diva Las Latina, right?
Yeah.
It was catchy.
So I think that it just sort of, they both didn't do the extra step up. And honestly, on the other side, Lydia did too many steps up and forgot to bring herself into the weird craziness that happened.
Yes. One of the things we've been saying a lot, even just about like TV shows or in this show, sometimes queens will start at the 100 and they don't have anywhere to go. Lydia's, I think, I don't want to say failed at conception because I love the puppet. I think it's hysterical. Mm-hmm. But I do think it wasn't really able to go somewhere else. Where, like, you start at the 100 with the puppet. Or what's the 110?
Yeah. Like, to me, like, I've seen this done where you come out and you're moving around more. You're doing the burlesque from inside of it. And then you pop out from the mouth and, like, shimmy it off and then continue on. I think her reveal at the end did not work in the way she wanted it to. But again, it is, like the judges said, one of those things where give her a couple more years and she'll sew that right up and all of a sudden it'll be a great act.
Well, I love that she was like, what I do is kind of rough around the edges, so it might rub some people the wrong way. And I want to be like, if rough around the edges you mean incomplete, then sure. Because, like, the thing I want to say is that Lydia B. Kollins is 10 times the queen I thought she was. The way she shows confidence in that workroom, I misunderstood her. She really is Lynchian in that she doesn't give a shit. She actually does not care what you think. She's insecure, you can tell, because we all are. Everybody wakes up in the morning and gets online at Starbucks, you know what I mean? But, like, she does not care if they read her name wrong. That's not her problem. Her problem is if you don't like what she's wearing. Like,
I want the Lucina Innocence, Lydia B. Kollins, transatlantic duo of weird, conceptual, crazy.
Yeah. And so, like, when she gets up there and, like, you know, in that image, she looks like a Beetleborg villain. And so then she gets into her confessional look and she looks like she might be one of those, like, I'm handsome and don't really care that I'm handsome, but so I model kind of people. And, like, good for her. I really get it. She's got the hair, you know what I mean? And then this performance told me that she loves the weird, but the fact is she's not being tested by enough people challenging the weird. She's not, I don't think there's enough people that are on her level where she's at. So when she gets out there in this puppet, people are so fucking impressed and so taken that they don't push her to go to the next level. And this was not a fair place to test that level for her sake, not for, like, you know, what a bad, no, I would not want to test my mettle here. And it really seems like she does not have enough people trying to be as strange as her. So she doesn't have that oomph. And I wonder how much that has to do with the fact that, like, your scene dictates your ability. I bet Acacia forgot kills with other girls that are doing similar, but of course not, you know, just the same, but, like, similar things. So, you know.
The one thing about Acacia that I, like, on the same line as what you're saying is this felt like a particularly rough crowd to be a country queen around. You do have Hormona, who is very country, but other than that, it just felt like it was something you said earlier, which is like in that world of people saying like the only things I don't like are country and rap. Country can really get a rep for being uncool. And if you are not Trixie Mattel or Dolly Parton, it is very tough to sell the gays sometimes, especially, you know, the city gays. And I was one of them for a very long time. So I apologize to everybody who I kind of did not support because of that. It can be really, really tough. And I sort of wonder if Sam Starr might have been nicer about this if they weren't in competition and on a competition show. But it just really felt like this was not the crowd to try and impress via country music.
Andrew actually mentioned Orville Peck in the comments, and that is the other thing that like if you're a hot dude, it's a different conversation.
Yeah, she's not being a hot dude, which is, you know, too bad because she's a very cute dude. That's a great mullet. I'm growing my hair out right now, and I'm looking at that. I can't pull that off because my hair doesn't go straight like that. I can't do that flat.
Well,
flat top aspect of my mullet, but you know, what a cutie pie. And I think really probably could have done all this as a dude in booty shorts and gotten quite a lot of traction.
I got a whole lot of claps for my big biceps on stage doing the same thing.
I really loved Tori's suggestion earlier, but I also wonder if this had been a later in the season showing of talent. If we already knew her and it was something where it could be a more intimate showing. Like, there are so many ways in which this would be appropriate, or there would have been more appropriate ways to do this. But you're kind of supposed to show like a mini season package in the opening talent show. And this is like kind of saying, this is all I'm going to do all season. If it's not, then you really needed to put more into this, something. But yeah, it didn't work for what it was.
Kevo, wouldn't he do a great job playing, I can't think of her character's name, and I'm so frustrated with Park Overall on Empty Nest?
Oh yeah. It's gonna bug me. That just
it's something with an L. Laverne. Yeah. Laverne. I think I think there's something really sexy about the country vibe. I do want to say though, as a homosexual and as a Latin person, I do know that there is a component to country music that appeals to a sector that has occasionally been proud of being unaccepting. And so that there is a cultural resistance to these ideas. But I know a lot of Black queer people who love country music. So I'm just not going to assume that all people who make country music are the worst. That just can't be part of my conversation on it.
Right. You just might not be safe going to their concerts.
Yeah. So it's, you know, but can we talk about somebody
currently watching lots of Yellowstone? No, I'm kidding.
Can we talk about who I want to marry though?
Give it to us straight.
There's got to be more than one. So
that's Maddie's show. It's not us.
No, like if this was like fuck, marry, kill.
Give it to me, gay.
There's nobody I'd kill. I would kill the idea of having to kill anyone.
I'd kill this look.
No more mask. The Chief sleep no more mask.
I kill this haunting fucking nightmare.
Did you know that you can't make Sleep No More references to people outside of the tri-state area?
That's not true.
I didn't really talk about the opening of the Squirrel Games, which I thought was really cute.
We're gonna get to it.
Okay.
We're still talking.
I was just gonna say, I hope Tori, you felt, seen and happy that Bianca was there.
Oh, I did. I was gonna make the joke, but thank you for seeing me and the fact that I texted NICO. I texted Kevo and was like, Jonah makes these screenshots, right? Can you make sure that he catches Bianca?
Absolutely. It would have been penny unwise not to get this image. I'm gonna marry Suzie Toot. And I don't care. The fact that she literally, I loved her from her performance, and her performance was like, so if you guys saw me play over the summer, one of the things I liked doing was like, I like to ramp up to a joke and then purposely kill the joke and move on to something different because that's its own kind of laugh. And I think Suzie purposely botching every joke through choreography is perfect. the way she hits, like, obviously she can't do Gettysburg Address in Morse code. It's this idea of what she's about to do is never going to happen.
Mhm.
So when the lip sync started, I looked at the boys and I was just like, nah, Mama's going to lose. And that's okay, because I'm a Cuban boy and I love Jewel Sparkles and I'm about to have this moment with her. Okay. And then the moment I knew she won was when she annoyedly looked at Rue and pointed at her foot. Like, you dumb bitch, look at my foot. Why aren't you looking at my foot? That was like why you put Futt and Sauster in things. That was why you cast Patti LuPone. Like, the theatrical humor was Jinx Monsoonian.
Yeah, and she also looks like her in the workroom. It was deep. All of a sudden I was like, where am I? Did I restart season 5? What am I looking at? I love Suzie Toot. Suzie Toot was like handmade for me in a factory. Like, I'm so excited for her 9 tapping toes to continue.
The one
forward.
theater queen outside of Jinx that RuPaul might like.
Maybe. We'll see.
I thought there were some real. So for one thing, I hate the name so much. It just bums me out to no end. I don't like fart jokes. And I did keep accidentally referring to her as Sally Farts all day because I just kept forgetting.
Oh,
her
but I
name.
love that.
9 tap. I mean, like, she had some really funny moments. Her makeup is atrocious.
Her makeup is specific.
Okay. So
but it's so one note, and so
There's a lot of notes on that face.
This look right here, I'm like, why are we not doing this a little bit more? Because it was all, I mean, yeah, she's bending the note a lot, but it was all really resting in one place. And it, you know, as Michelle Visage says, she took off the mask and I wanted her to put it back on.
Michelle was not playing.
No, and she comes in with this look. She has the runway look and then the talent show look, and they're all kind of versions of this at levels that to me we're getting into, like, she's an Insidious villain. I'm sorry, but like and also she can't stop making Suzie Toot puns and referring to herself in the third person. NICO, she is made for you. What am I talking about?
Do that.
She is made for you. This is
And they all do that.
Some girls do that, and sometimes it annoys me when they do it too. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I was disappointed because Jinx is one of my top 3 queens. I love her so much. Something about Suzie just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I will say I'm very pleased though, because this means I don't have competition from NICO for Arietti. So I shall be swinging over to Seattle to marry her promptly.
Congratulations, she's beautiful.
Suzie was, well, okay. The first things first, Suzie was incredible, and that she gave the drag version of tap dancing. Because if she just did a tap dancing number, well, that would probably be great. She wouldn't have probably been in the top, but she lip synced to a track that she did. There was comedic moments. She's comedy, she's theater. It told us who she was all in one, and it was a drag entertainment version of tap dancing, which is incredible. That's, I think, what we're saying, where if you, for these talent shows, give the drag version of whatever. You know, in most recent years, one of the most popular talent show numbers that have been done, Anitra gave the drag version of Taekwondo.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just what I think the judges and the audience, we as an audience, are looking for. Her makeup, it's not for me. It is, I understand it's that very depression era because she looks a little sad. However, I think in one of the trailers they showcased a look that she does that she has, you know, I'll say more like classical beauty glamour drag. Mm-hmm. And she does have the ability to, I think, paint in that way. But I also respect that this look she wants to do. This is part of her character. It might not be for me, but if it makes her happy, it makes her happy. Yeah. So let her do. lest we forget season 10, Dusty Ray Bottoms used to do dots. And the first episode, Michelle was like, really? You do dots every episode? And Dusty was like, okay, I guess I'm never doing dots again. I guess I'm not touching them.
But then she did them all. She immediately kept doing them, which I, respect. Yeah, I mean, I was a little hard on Suzie in this previous moment. Jonah's view is much more where my mind is actually at, and especially like the makeup isn't for me, but like I do like this makeup, like, and I like the general area. I have no problem with the general area that she rests in for the makeup. I will be excited to see the other looks as well. I think it was a little tough for me to have 3 looks and have them all be this it's especially like the lip, and to have her have the looks be so similar and the hair be so similar. I do get what she's going for, and she executes it very well. And again, like incredibly funny. The tap dancing, Jonah, you nailed it. Like it was drag tap dancing, which is what you would need to win. You could not just do regular tap dancing. Even though that is an incredibly difficult talent and most people can't do it, period.
And
I don't
fewer
know.
and fewer.
Are we Kevo, go back to that photo, please. Are we all not looking at this and not seeing something not the best ever?
No, first of all,
I think she looks just
sweaty.
like me every week on the camera. I think it's exactly what I've been doing, and I don't appreciate.
Tori, you had a twin on Down Under, now you have a twin on this show.
It's great.
Tori does do this better. She has much sharper lines, and you can even see it in the tiny version.
Like the cheeks look
Next to
bruised. They don't look rouged.
Yeah, she's got. She might have.
I think that's a choice.
On a couple of these
Yeah,
girls.
blood force trauma for this poor girl.
I
know you
think
had an opinion
she
here.
might be suffering. I recently learned about this because I've been seeing it on my own face where I'm like, why is there this weird shadow dot in the middle of my face that I can't get rid of? And I recently learned that if you over scrub it in there, it will start to dull and do weird things. And I think the gals are doing a little too much blush this season, she says. But this might be her problem. So she'll figure it out. I give it like a couple weeks. I think she's gonna be sticking around for a bit, considering she already got her trademark used by RuPaul in her mouth.
I can though, a girl that I'm a little worried about because and it's tough because again, I'm just gonna keep starting to reference the fact that I've been on stage like hundreds of times in my life. This is not something new, singing and playing guitar for money. I'm not coming for people without experience. So when I'm like, girl, I think I'm a little worried. Don't get me wrong. My performance in my 11th grade production of Crazy for You, I don't think was the cackety-cackest, but I do have some worries for Joella. It's also really funny because I wonder what came first, the love or the love song. Which came first? They knew that the label was sticking them with Katy Perry, or they cast Joella and we're like, what can we do to mess with her brains? Because this is this beautiful confluence. This is me being on Drag King Me to Hell and finding out that the first guest judge is Tori Amos. It is literally, who by the way, of course, has Drag King photos, and that's what I'm referencing. There is a real vibe to seeing your all-time favorite and that maybe playing a fact. But something that I did catch was that Katy Perry literally says, none other than Katherine Hudson herself says, you've come so far in your performance. So wait a minute. Katy Perry's seen her perform before. Okay, so now I have a lot of questions. I thought it was one of those, the way some comic book creators recognize me and think that I stalk them a little bit, sort of situations where every time Phil Jimenez sees me outside the steam room, he's convinced it's because I'm stalking him. And so I do find myself, and that's me joking about me, she's not a stalker at all, but it does make me wonder about the level that Joella has achieved in her career and how this could really be a reflection of what she's achieved. I was not impressed by this number, but I was really impressed by Joella's spirit. So I hope that this was a weird moment for her that did not belie the talent that lies beneath this strappy red number.
Can I give a slightly more cynical take on it?
Yeah.
I think someone said to Katy Perry, "Hey, you've got a super fan in there." And was like, "It's Joella." And she was like, "Remind me." And then she got played a couple things and she was like, "I'm on it. I'm going to make good TV."
That excites me so much.
Like, that is my slightly cynical but very positive on Katy Perry take.
Same.
Yeah, I think,
live in your own AU as thou wilt.
No, I think that makes, I mean, like, to combine your two examples, I'm sure there are, like, again, like comic creators who, if you were like NICO's backstage, they'd be like, I have no idea who that is. But if you showed them a picture, they'd be like, oh, that guy, I've definitely talked to him like 3 or 4 times. And I think something like that is probably exactly, I imagine that Katy Perry, living in LA, absolutely goes to drag shows. She also hires drag queens to do certain performances, not just the one that we saw at Bon Appetit that did not go well with Migos. She's hired drag queens to work at other performances. I think it's entirely possible that, Joella has worked a Katy Perry performance of some kind, and is somebody who is very distantly in her orbit. But she's also a large Asian drag. Like, she's not hard to remember if you jumpstart her memory. Tori, I think you are 100% right. I do not imagine that she goes around being like, I know exactly who that is. But I think she probably doesn't know who most people are. That is a very celebrity thing. That's not anything on anybody. That's not on Joella. That's not on Katy Perry. And again, Katy Perry, like, knocked it out of the park. Judge kind of said exactly it. Like, I mean, like, I thought I thought it was very kind of her not to say anything about the performance to the other judges, and just to say, like, her look could have been a little stronger, because that's true. It was very simple and basic, and not a bad way, but, like, I don't know, if I'm performing in front of Tori Amos, like, I'm going insane. It's something she's never going to forget, even if it's horrible. But I'm definitely going all out. And then when she gets backstage and talks to her, she's like, you've come a long way. I think keep giving them more jokes, go crazier. And that was the thing, is it was a really solid, she had everything down for a base. And there was nothing that was bad, but there was and Michelle Visage said it too. Like, we've seen this before. It was nothing groundbreaking. But she sold it, and I think that's a perfectly okay, safe place to be. But she's clearly talented, and she's clearly got a lot of energy and attitude and intelligence. She could have been groundbreaking. She could have gone further right off the bat. And it's a competition, so sometimes some weeks you're just happy to be safe, and maybe right out the gate this is where she is, and from here she just shows us so much talent. For me, like, I think that the thing to do would have been, like, if you really wanted to wow everybody and win, elevating this particular performance would not have been a crazy ask, and it would have gotten her very far. There just wasn't much that elevated it.
Okay, so one of the things I want to talk about, I don't know, I thought Katy Perry was acting like she was on ketamine or something. She was acting real weird.
No, she was. She's playing a character.
So, okay, another thing I want to make a note of, the lip sync song for this episode being Woman's World. They actually got to listen to this before it dropped.
I was going to bring that up
that.
too. Yeah, they heard the song before it was out, which is, I think, the first time this has ever happened on Drag Race.
Well, but after it was already Born This Way and Express Yourself.
Yeah, but
Break Free on season 7, they filmed before that dropped.
Oh, you're right.
So it's the second time that's happened for a major artist. Katy Perry being here really kind of feels like this was her team putting a lot of eggs in a basket, thinking that her album was going to be this gay pop anthem that they were loving. This would just be a victory tour, and it flopped, and it's
so
bad.
Yeah.
Bad flop.
They chose this song.
It flopped so bad it kind of brought the episode down, because they didn't have a great guest. Like, if they'd had Chappell Roan for this episode, it wouldn't there would have not been a single non-gay eye on it.
But I'm his, he's mine. the third single from the record, featuring Doechii, is the best charting single from the record, and Dochi's the guest next week.
Yeah,
so it
and
makes
it's
me
so
wonder
much better.
if there was a plan, because at the moment, the actual highest charting single from it comes from the fact that it was re-released the week of Christmas as 1432 with the first time Cozy Little Christmas is on a record, so that it would have a technical hit on it.
Yeah.
What's the two part of 1432?
It's the second part. It's the side B of it all.
Got it. Okay.
Katy, I obviously don't know this person. I don't want to knock any goodwill or positive things she has done, especially for the LGBTQ plus community, but it does feel like she sometimes wants the status of being a gay icon without doing the work. Not to fully compare apples to oranges.
That's correct.
But like Lady Gaga really was in drag, really kind of was doing the most and was doing essentially drag performances. And so like Stephanie's a little bit different than Kate here.
Yeah.
It reminds me to have empathy.
Catherine Hudson would have made anti-gay music if that is what the record label had asked at the time, without a single
bit.
It's
called "I Kissed a Girl."
Well, then there's that aspect. Yes, I mean there's.
Now, okay, so anyway, we got all that out of the way.
I love You're So Gay.
And poor Joella was crying in the workroom because she got to hear a sample of the song coming up first, and she knew it would be bad. But this Joella wasn't my favorite tonight. And a lot of it is it felt like there was a lot more, not that I don't want people to hype themselves up, but I need the hype to match the delivery.
Yeah.
It felt like the song didn't feel as special as I wanted the song to feel. And the performance it felt like if you're telling me you're this high energy, kicking and bucking performer, you didn't give me any of that. And like, where were we going? For my idea, I wish that she really kind of fully like put her stamp, really went for it, because I felt like there could have just been more to be done in that performance. It again, not bad, but it just I felt a little bit wanting, and that makes me feel bad because I think she's someone who maybe has a little bit of crunch, but has that like feistiness that's really entertaining. I feel like she has that like that fire, that drive, and that passion, but I feel like I didn't 100% get that from the number, and I really wanted that.
I really get that because I'm going to be watching all of these girls, like my precious Asbury's own Crystal and Sam, and I'm going to be watching Lana. I'm going to be watching these girls to see if their passion delivers, because now they've had 2 weeks. I don't care. Like, number one, Lucky Stars' performance with the Lemonade was absolutely one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Loved that so much. She's got it. Like, she got it.
I love Lucky's number. I loved the volume of liquid she was able to get out of those lemon tatas. I will be completely happy with the rest of my life if that is the last performance somebody squirts something out of orifices. I think we're overplaying it now. I loved Lucky's performance.
We were doing fire for a long time. Now we have to work our way through water.
All the elements.
We already did air, and we saw how that went.
I loved her performance. I also love her aesthetic and her look. Someone described her as a maximalist. Mm-hmm. There's so much going on, but it's all so correct, and she still gives you body. Her artistry is incredible.
I think it's very telling that they mentioned who everybody's drag family was and did not mention that she is the self-identified former drag daughter of Nina Bonina Brown. And I shudder to think what happened there. I thought the only thing is, again, people produce the show and people
probably just gave up. I'm not your drag mom anymore. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna sit.
I'm done. I know you're trying to kill me in my sleep. You're out.
Well, it's over.
producers produce this show, and things have to be approved, and even if the girls choose who's going or whatever, I thought it was odd that we had both La Leche and Lemonade in the same thing.
And
Not
yet, around the corner,
not bad.
No fudge was made.
Not bad.
And
And then
fudge,
Katy Perry even makes the joke. Not bad, but they were notably similar, and nobody brought that up. And I don't know. It's just like there was a particular thing that happened with the fact that those two numbers were there that I felt it for me, and I'm really glad nobody else seemed to feel this way, because I really like Lucky Stars, but for me it took some of the wind out of the sails of her performance, because it was very similar to La Leche, with just some kind of different tricks, for lack of a better term.
I think the MTV Spring Break style getting liquid on the camera, that really helped elevate.
Yeah. I agree. This gave La Leche very much gave me Anitra. I don't even know what you call that performance anymore, but it had that same energy. Duck walk performance.
Yeah, I definitely Jewel Sparkles really surprised me.
Me too, especially because she kept being like, "I'm going to die because of my bionic spine. I am the bionic
Georges.
I cannot move. I can't do dance moves." And
I was really surprised, because she had come up as very, very dumb in a lot of her interviews, and I was fully prepared for pretty but dumb, and it takes a lot of brains to put together something like this, and I think it went really well.
You mean a substantial Sasha Colby impression? Yeah, it took a lot of work to put this together. She literally, and since
you're not wrong.
Since the secret word this week seems to be plagiarism, I'm not calling this, but it was a loving homage. She literally did Sasha Colby moves. That was intense for me. Beautiful, but it's what I saw on the stage.
Beautiful whips, beautiful wigs,
beautiful whips, beautiful hair whips.
I do want to,
but I was watching it being like, this is what she can do to whip her hair, because she can't do the full everything.
Yeah, and it was
still bionic spine.
It was the assignment, no matter what.
Right,
and I loved that, and she did amazing.
She did very well.
Now, I do want to say the only queen I think we have not literally said the name of is Anya Nerve, and I would hate to get on hers. So I just want to say that God, that woman's confidence. It's breathtaking. It's so cool. It's amazing to see her own her art so strong. We haven't really gotten to know her yet, so I look forward to getting to know her better.
I think when you get RuPaul screaming like that at you and about you, having said that, this look was a bit unfortunate way to make an entrance, but back to getting RuPaul to laugh with and shout at you and get your vibe so completely on your first runway out. To me, that is such a good sign, and just really, that showed her energy. It showed her confidence. It's always interesting when people can charm RuPaul in a more jovial way and in a way that doesn't seem so because sometimes you can see, especially the hot bitches, charm RuPaul in a way that she's like, oh, I can milk this one for money. And when she came out in this look and had the slow walk, you could tell that RuPaul was just living for the drag culture of it all. I love the concept behind the entrance look. Unfortunately, it was enough of a miss that I felt so relieved this wasn't Canada, and there were no roses and thorns possibly being given out for entrance looks, because I could have seen that getting a thorn.
Canada, you say? Well, plagiarism.
Wait, can we just the Squirrel Games?
Oh yeah, let's Squirrel Game for a minute. I liked it. This was I'm so God, I wish I could find another way to say it. I wish you had given this money to the girls for their packages instead. I wish every girl was given this budget to help make it a more even playing field. What an unfortunate use of my time.
Yep.
I feel bad agreeing. It's mostly because I am not particularly privy to this piece of pop culture. My only experience with I can only think of the word squid. I can only think of the word squirrel. Is watching it over a guy's shoulder on the flight to Vegas in December. But I also feel like part of my feeling on that specifically is this is such a zeitgeist. I wonder if it already is too late to have done something like this in some ways, at least on such a big scale. This
They got lucky that the second season dropped.
Second season is right now. They got real lucky.
Very lucky.
They got very lucky.
Yeah, but
And
according to the
this
reviews
was-
and the numbers, no.
And this
Wow.
for RuPaul's Drag Race was huge. This was so many queens from
So
the area.
many.
This
But
was
still.
a lot of LA locals, faces that we've seen.
They still showed up, and that's great.
Kylie, Morgan McMichaels, Mayhem,
Trinity's here.
Trinity
Trinity's
The Tuck was
there.
So Trinity
Uh,
appeared in 2 reality shows this weekend because tonight starts Trinity
Pork chop got
in
pork chopped.
our favorite family show, Worst Cooks in America.
Yes,
So, and
Celebrity Chefs
also-
Edition.
I want to say we all clocked pork chop getting pork chopped, and I just thought it was a very clever way to remind us that pork chop is eternally the pork chop. Oh, Dory, look, it's the Corvid.
Hate
We'll
it.
draw that again someday.
I love Mask of the Red Death. I am.
She's wearing the face kini under it, you guys.
Yeah, I know. It's
Obviously.
listen. RuPaul wrote the sketch. Let RuPaul wear what she wants.
Horrible goblin fracker.
Also, I need to get this out there. It was bugging me who I thought Sam Star looked like in drag. She looks like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, I see it,
Ooh,
kind of.
yeah, I see that. She's got the eyes.
That said, Sam Star is a demon twink from hell, and I am scared, but also feel like it is my responsibility to get a chainsaw and take it back to hell where it belongs.
Sam Star's the face Trinity wishes she had, and is
Yes,
working
and she's gonna
towards
cut it off. That she's
at all
been growing
times. Yeah,
it.
no, she's gonna wear her like a skin, like it's Crazy
Yeah.
Ex-Girlfriend.
That's,
Like,
oh my god.
Can you go back a screen? I just
Yeah.
want to do a thing, and it is not shitting on anybody. It is not coming for anybody's drag. Artist subjected.
All
and
drag
all
is
artist
valid.
drag.
I
Tori,
can't see.
Guys, so Kevo and I just doing puppets of Drac and Swan is my new dream.
These are my Drac and Swan.
That is
Drac,
that's
that's my
weird.
Swan.
So, oh god, I can't wait. But so I want to do our top 3 call now. It has nothing to do with who's the best. It's who do you love,
Oh,
and maybe at
jeez.
this moment, hope you get to see a whole season's worth. And that has nothing to do with anybody not being great. We are not here to insult anybody. Just say who's maybe caught our eye, and if you want to demure, please demure away. That's very mindful of you. I'm happy to go first. In no order, my top 3 is going to be Corey, is going to be my precious Crystal, because, you know, I got to stand a local mama, and my incredibly impressive Suzie. Notice how now I own them. They are mine. They're my girls, right? It's like Rockadoodle. That's blackmail. That's showbiz. So I could watch Rockadoodle all goddamn night. Who wants to do a
Do
Rockadoodle
not
drag party with me?
say that, because I will put it on. You know that I
TK?
will.
TK?
I love Elvis.
TK. Okay.
It's on YouTube, but anyway, actually,
So-
I could be lying about that.
TK, before I ask you about Rockadoodle,
Yeah.
who are your holy trinity?
I don't know, man.
Well, which 3 caught the last train for the coast?
I guess it's gonna be Miss Arietti, Miss Lucky Stars, and Miss Anya Nerve.
Okay, Tori.
I am Suzie, Hormona, and honestly, I want to watch Sam Star burn because I think she's excellent. I think it's an excellent drag, just like I think Trinity is excellent drag. But I just want to watch that world burn. So those are my 3.
she's gonna turn out to be this humanitarian. And
I know.
Right. She's
Yeah.
gonna turn out to be like the love and the joy or something.
But if
I don't
we
know.
didn't
Real
say this, she
Xana.
would turn out to be evil.
I was gonna say,
we're
then it'll
doing it-
flip back like Xana.
Right.
So we'll get to Canada and that soon. Jonah.
Woo!
Jonah, the world's sweetest boy with the world's best hair swoosh. Talk to me. Who is your top 3?
For me, my money, Lexi Love, I think so far is the confessional queen of the season. Calling Sam Starr, she might be a little bit of a she-devil, was the funniest thing in the entire world, especially knowing Sam's family lineage.
Mm.
I want to also give it up to Lucky Stars, the other L. Truly, like, I'm smitten and enamored with her artistry. And who else do I want to say? I'm also going to say Suzie. I think Suzie might be the theater queen, not named Jinx, to make it. And we'll see if she has a couple of other tricks up her sleeve. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, they just uploaded my actual favorite thing they do for the preseason, which is the queens do impressions
Of the other queens? Yes.
And it's my favorite because I love going back after the season has aired to see like how it all works out. But Suzie completely eating everybody, saying they're probably all thinking hurdy dirty tap dance was the funniest thing in the entire world. That's what everybody did for her.
It was perfect.
All right, Kevo, give me the 3 that you can't wait to see make it to the top of the tree.
The triangle, because there's a triangle this season. It's part of the theming. It's a wet triangle. That's this season's theme. Climb the wet triangle, everyone. Who do I think is going to conquer the wet triangle? Already looks like Tom from Drew. Do you see that?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say the ones that I am the most interested to see more from, not necessarily my tops, because I really want to see Suzie Toot go all the way. I can't help noticing that she's at the top of the wet pyramid in the promos, just putting that out there. But I feel like we got the least that I want to see more from Lydia, Arietti, and Hormona. I feel like I would love to see more screen time and personality. Like, the only time I really felt like we got much from Lydia is her being like tee-hee butthole, but then not wanting to throw shade when Corey was trying to goad her. So that was a really interesting moment in the Untucked, and I am intrigued to see more from these personalities. I really, and as a final note on this, I so appreciate as a consumer that we got to meet everyone this week. This is probably one of my favorite formats of this. We only got 1 episode instead of getting a 2 full episode premiere, but we still got to meet everyone. And I hate only meeting 7 and then another 7 a week later. It really throws off my brain. So getting to meet everyone this week, even if everyone doesn't get an amazing amount of screen time, that was wonderful. So thanks, Mama Rue.
Yeah, and also thanks to the PR department, because I really did feel like I knew who these girls were when I showed up, which has been a distinct problem for me ingesting over 300 queens in a year.
Jeez. Wow.
I know.
When you say
I know.
trying to do the Claremont run, it's too many powerful women.
It's also of note that, with the exception of possibly Corey, who there's no year on, none of these queens were born before 1990.
They are all between 23 and 34 years old. The youngest is Lana, and the oldest is Lexi.
Yeah.
All of their ages are
22.
have been given.
Yeah, I couldn't find Corey's on any of her.
Oh, okay, interesting. You mean the manga artist Corey King?
Yes, I need more information on that.
Eminem.
Yeah, it's pretty disturbing. And there was definitely the whole time I was like, oh, these fucking children. So anyway, there's that.
I love that. I did not realize that Corey was being cagey about her age, but no matter what, Corey is so handsome, it doesn't matter. Whatever Corey says, just don't pull a Hollywood and lie about it. So, okay, Canada. This was a tough week for me on Canada because
I would think you'd be happy.
No, I don't like an unfair defeat. and there was something about the way that Xana was just so defeated this week. Like, I've talked about it with Jonah recently, okay? And I do want to rewind just a moment and say that I want to get to the plagiarism thing in a moment, but one of my favorite things, I think my favorite line in all of Avengers Infinity War is all of that for a drop of blood. Because it really, really evokes how pointless this whole fucking thing was, you insects. Did you think you'd live forever, you little specks, sort of Grant Morrison grandeur? But then, in my favorite moment in the entire MCU ever, bar none, without any question, it's not even hard, is when Thanos punches Carol in the face full force, and she just looks annoyed that he tried.
She doesn't move a millimeter.
It is like I could literally get choked up. It is like literally it's probably my favorite moment in all of movies because it's one of my favorite moments in all of comics, period. It is like exactly who Carol is, that I grew up such a Carol stan, and that I loved her as much as Jean growing up. Like literally, truly, not even a question. It used to be her and Jean, not her and Elektra. So like I really think about that moment because when Thanos finally is defeated, his defeat is so sound. He loses trying to win. Xana felt broken because she's a real person, not a fucking comic book character. And like the arc of this is hurting a real person, not, you know what I mean? So like this did not feel like Valentina and the Mask. This felt like a real person just losing their dream and losing their step and losing their way. And I feel like part of what we sometimes don't always get from Canada, because it's a tight hour, they're very clear about that, and they don't give us a true Untucked. I think we lose out on the humanity of these girls. So I've spent several weeks vilifying Xana because they've wanted me to vilify Xana because they've designed a character that appeals to someone like me's interest for someone to dislike. Because I own that jacket and my hair could never be that flat. And so the problem I find here is I don't feel like Xana was eliminated. I feel like Xana gave up because this is not a real situation for real humans. And so like it's hard to survive. And so like I ultimately felt like this episode was just kind of a tough watch at times. It just did not feel like it had the strongest, warmest spirit, especially after that Michaela fight. I stand by Michaela. There are times where I have literally been like, you just don't understand what it's like to be me on these 47 ways. And Michaela has 4,700 ways to my 47. And I would never even begin to imagine what it's like to be Michaela. But to be on the other side of that moment, a bad moment in any human being's life, a moment that anybody wishes no one else got to see, but we all go through it. It just didn't feel fair. And so I'm very sad for Xana and very sad for Michaela. And I'm glad they've made up since. And that they're now beautiful Judys together, but like this was no one deserves to be judged by their worst moments. Either beautiful woman.
I want to chalk it up to Minnie Wang, who honestly at this point give Minnie the crown, for offering a level of wisdom of, you know, I know you're in your feelings right now, but I don't want you to regret what you're going to say, especially because it is going to be on national television. I want to offer empathy to both sides of it, in the sense that I think Xana kind of came in a little bit of a way, I think, knowing that we're filming a TV show, we're here to make TV, we're here to make drama. Like, and I think that's where maybe some of those little snippy comments come from. And I think for Michaela, it was that one comment that was just one too many that broke the camel's back. And I think we saw somebody snap. I also want to make sure we make of note, Michaela has been on hormones for a year, and as people have made testimony to going on hormones, going on estrogen, there is a lot of emotions that go into it. You have a lot of emotional intensity, and sometimes you can't fully control your emotions. We don't control our emotions as people. We do control our actions. I think that was a very moment that we really shouldn't have seen on television. If I want to phrase it like that way.
I get that.
I think Michaela it was just too much for Michaela in the moment, and she had an emotional moment. She had an emotional outburst. I think she said things that maybe she, as they made up, I don't think we're going to age the best, but I'm not going to hold that against somebody who is young and is learning and is still trying to build a career. It happens, like Nico said, we're not judging people on their worst moments. I also do want to specifically chalk it up to Xana because I think she immediately saw, it got to her, especially after Michaela said the comments.
Right.
She didn't hold it against Michaela. She said, if that's how she feels about me in the moment, that's how she feels. I want to go with how you want to proceed. I would love to talk about this and try to resolve it, but if we can't in this moment right now, I want to go with what you want to do. And especially with her goodbye message, I think Xana, I feel bad that Xana's goodbye had to be taken up with her having to apologize to Michaela again.
I have spoken on the channel before about how my favorite season of the real world is New Orleans, and it was one of the few seasons of the original that got a reunion. And one of the elements of the reunion season is that one of the former housemates, Julie, is being a little bit more rambunctious than everyone else, and it becomes very tacitly clear that Julie is here to make a fun, dramatic reality television program. And everyone else is just kind of treating this like a college reunion, and we're just going to all hang out and talk about the good times, but we don't want to manufacture drama. We don't want to get into fights. The other 6 of us aren't here for that. And it really made me think ongoingly about the notion that not everyone is here to make the same show. And Michaela is not necessarily here to make the same program as Xana. And I think a problem that Xana ran into is at times Xana wasn't sure what program they wanted to make. I feel like Xana went back and forth on, do I want to be the villain or do I want to emphasize my humanitarian work? And when you are making this sort of thing under those lights, in front of those cameras, you throw things at the wall. I do think that she was pot stirring. I just don't think she expected that reaction. And yeah, I agree with Jonah, and I think we all, pretty much feel she clearly was felt bad, but it's sort of what happens sometimes in these situations.
Yeah.
Please go for it.
Oh no, I was going to say I think that we have also moved to a point where we can no longer say it's just drag. I think we're getting to the point now where everyone in the room is very precious about what drag is and how it's a reflection of themselves and the art they want to do and the fact that they want to win that money. So I think saying it's just drag is not going to fly the way that it used to. And so I think that's kind of where Xana is falling, is that she's still on the it's just drag, honey, like this ain't rocket science. And it's like, no, some of us are here because we want this, that, and the other thing, and we want to showcase the following and hold up tradition, or
there's a person under the wig,
right? And I think I think Xana was thought she would be surrounded by people for whom it's like, yeah, it's just drag, but like we're all here to win, and she got surrounded by people who take this very, very, very seriously.
I want to liken this to last season in season 4, where Melinda had her outburst, but we joke about that. We enjoyed that because that was somebody having a moment, but it was fed by, in the most loving way possible, non-derogatory delusion. And it was just seeing someone who thought they did a little bit better than they were perceived by the judges, angry and upset. And then you having a little bit of a moment, and then someone being like, whoa, hold on. That moment was also completely undercut by 2 people fighting over saying they want to send each other home, which was
with
hysterical.
gratitude.
With gratitude, between Amy and Nira both arguing, don't save me, don't give me the beaver, I want to send her ass home. That's where that almost took away from Melinda's moment because it was so funny. But that was 2 people who they were just expressing their emotions in that regard, but I can tell that wasn't the same as them both having like, I feel like she doesn't like me. I think that's what it came down to, especially because Xana, as Minnie pointed out, Xana does like to poke a little bit, and I think she was poking just one too many times for Michaela to be like, okay, we're making a TV show. I think maybe it did get to, if you repeatedly do something, maybe it can come across as, oh, is that how you really feel about me? Especially when Michaela had a good night to try to, bring Michaela down in a regard.
And I mean, that's what Michaela specifically said, is like, every time I'm doing well, you try and bring me down. Which I unfortunately don't really think is maybe 100% wrong, even based on what's in the show.
I think Xana tries to bring down anyone doing
yeah,
well,
that's the thing, is I don't think
happens to be
It's
Michaela.
not personal.
yeah, I think
it's
Michaela's
just
doing
drag.
so well that it's often her that is
Right.
getting Xana's words, because Xana's going to have words for anybody who does well. But then we get to the KEVO thing, which is like, she's doing that, she's playing that character on the show, but then she's having these insane and like gratifying, important, really significant emotional moments, talking about her native heritage, talking about how she works as a business person, and really demonstrating empathy. And I don't think you can't have both,
Right.
but I do think it's going to lead to the situation that we're in right now, which isn't even taking into account what Nico's talking about, which I think is also really valid, which is like, it's also depressing loss. Like, this isn't like, oh, she got knocked down a peg after being a bitch the whole time. This isn't, she worked her hardest and it just wasn't enough and everybody was so good. I actually do think that's kind of what, at the end of the day, that's what it was. I thought they all did like actually very well.
They did
I thought all the
really
looks
well.
I thought all the looks were really good. I thought all the looks were really good. I do think hers was the one that would get the lowest grade. But again, if everybody else gets a 98 and you get a 95, you didn't do badly on the tests. Everybody just got 3 points more than you did.
Yeah.
And somebody has to have the lowest score. I don't think Minnie won. If I'm judging things,
Really?
no, I don't know. I'm biased against something about Minnie and the vacant look in her eyes sometimes.
She's a little golden retriever-ish.
I just can't do it. I'm not okay with it.
You leave that Psyduck alone.
Yeah,
No,
no,
I love
do
Psyduck.
a
And then
lot.
the vacant looks inside, and he's just a little squat and waddling around. If Minnie were squat and waddling around with that vacant look in her eye, I would be like, that's our number one queen. You
Yeah, if
protect
Minnie
her at
was-
all costs.
if Minnie was
I don't
waddling
appreciate
around as
having the
naked as a
muscles.
Psyduck.
Yeah, well, there's that too. No, I don't know. And I hated the fucking bow. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can I say part of what I think about Minnie that throws me off a little bit? She's so talented and she's such a fun, good person. I wonder if I would have the same judgment of her without the confessionals.
Yeah. That is a
I
big part of it,
actually
yeah.
think that she is suffering from, they put the bar lower for her and then she showed up pretty well and they're
Yeah.
like, whoa, wow, we're surprised at every turn. And I'm like, because some of the things that Minnie's doing quite well, in my opinion. I'm surprised, they're surprised, we're all very excited. I think some of the things that they read Uma God for, Minnie Wang also has, but everyone kind of expected Minnie Wang to not do very well. And for Uma God to do well. And so then, because the bars were separate, when they both landed in the center, Minnie Wang is still in the top 5 and Uma God went home. Also, I'm very fascinated that some people chose to showcase the idea of what a wardrobe malfunction has been in the past, as opposed to actually designing a malfunctioning wardrobe. I think we've had a lot more of that on Canada this season, where they're just like, I see what you want me to do, and I'm gonna go left. And I feel like it has yet to work.
Can we talk about how the Virgo Queen strutted out in this gorgeous ass dress and was like, yeah, it's not laced up all the way back, but it looked stunning from behind?
I'm like, we watched Detox do this. Like,
We
why do you
did.
think that this is bad? Like, I think it might have worked out better if like her hands were stuck in the corset behind her back and like she just had to walk like that. I think that might have worked better, but
I get Minnie winning this episode, but I'm biased and I wanted Helena to win. I feel like they just keep edging Helena along and we're all complicit, so we just gotta be like, okay. I feel bad because I'm endeared by her, so I know I have biases. I thought she did great this week.
Do you know what I just remembered? I was looking up really quick. Sorry, that's why I was going to keep scrolling, but Minnie already sort of did this, didn't she?
Probably. Oh yeah.
She did do this.
This is the wardrobe malfunction from the
Juice box.
Oh, she brought two
with the stuck to her thing.
and then she was.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
That was going to be my point. Like, I agree. No, that's even the thing. Like, I feel so bad saying it this way, but like, the reason really good singers often aren't good at singing badly is because they sing badly as a really good singer. You know who often sings really well badly? Funny people. Okay. And so when you say to a bunch of fashion glamouristas, I'm trying to like go as far as I can to make it as look how glamorous and couture we are when guys calm down, it's Canada. And so like I think part of what happens is like they all approached wardrobe malfunction from beautiful, brilliant woman. There were no malfunctions in a lot of ways. Very few people had them. Something that would have been a funny malfunction is if somebody had their outfit fall apart as they were walking, like a step on the thread kind of thing. I know what I'm talking about is complicated and complex, but aren't these supposed to be the best of the best at concept as well as fashion? And my problem was everybody had beautiful wardrobe. I felt like next to no one had malfunction. And this wasn't just do a weird thing where you walk weird. This was wardrobe malfunction, which is famously a reference to Janet Jackson's outfit coming apart on a stage. And this is like, and I'm so glad somebody said it, but this is the third or fourth time where, no, you guys didn't do the assignment. I'm really glad that you all decided not to do the assignment the same way together. That's resistance. That's cool. But now I'm not getting what I want from the show, which is anybody doing the assignment. And so like, I do sort of feel like we are getting to a point where like Snatch Game is too snatched to be Snatch Game, but the main stage is becoming a place where the idea of the challenge is how do we challenge the challenge each week. And it's just not always giving. Sometimes it's taking liberties. But at the end of the day, they're these girls' liberty bibberties to take. And I'm here to watch and enjoy, but it is where I think I may be a little bit more excited about America sometimes, not like the country, the drag race, because one of the things that I really appreciate about American Drag Race more than UK, where Ru is clearly just having a good time. I almost said good coffee enema time, or down under where I don't know where that peyote came from, but it is paying off for her. US is where Ru really gets kind of mean and a little bit about the rules and a little bit about how she wants it played. It has to look right. It's the Saks Fifth Avenue window. This is not the Macy's at Menlo Park. Nobody's getting a Saturday off. And so like Mama wants it perfect in the US. And that's a little bit where these other international editions give me more explorative art that I love. Yes. But then I'm ready for the US to give me a little bit closer to the baseline for comparative purposes.
Agreed. And I also have to say, I was very much looking forward to this Maxi Challenge. I think it went really well. I think we had very few issues. I think we all just learned that Brooklyn still got it and can look amazing in almost anything. I think these gals basically got the assignment, and I think it went really, really well. But as I said to Kevo, I was like, we will never see RuPaul ever deign to do this, which I think is a real shame, because I think that it would cause a lot of queens to shit their pants.
Michelle would
to
do
play
it.
this game.
Michelle would do it. You know who else would do it? You know who would do it? And you know who's going to do it again? I bet she's going to do it again. I bet she's going to do it for the first time in 5 years. You know who I bet is going to do it? I bet Heidi Klum is going to do it on the Hulu
God.
Disney Plus Freeform revival of Project Runway, the single
Is that
greatest
what it
television
is?
Yes, the
Oh,
single
wow.
greatest television program ever made for 10 episodes coming up this season. Going to be rehelmed by Heidi. Tim has
Do we
pretty
know
much
when
said
it
that,
starts?
all we know is later this year.
The
Tim
year
has
just
pretty much
started.
said that he's tired.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
yeah, he's at 85. I don't think it's reasonable to expect a man to do a show like this.
Is he?
Is he really?
No, he's
Okay, all right, cool.
upper 60s, I
I was
believe.
just like, I was like, what the hell?
I
Wait,
believe
hold
he'll-
on. Oh, wait, okay, go.
I believe they'll keep Christian on as mentor.
71.
Yeah, there you
Alright.
go.
I was close. Nico, you didn't get to talk about Perla.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you. Thank you for
Yeah.
reminding me to drag somebody.
She's my favorite, but I'm very mad at her, so I'm letting this happen.
So like I recently learned, and I could do it right now if we killed the music. I recently learned that in the air tonight, not learned, but realized that in the air tonight and My Heart Will Go On are the exact same chord structure, and so you can literally sing them against each other, and it's flawless. Because a lot of songs have that, and like I love extrapolating on that. In my drag show, that was something I did. I talked about how a lot of Britney Spears' music is fluidic, or a lot of Christina at a certain point, like Lady Marmalade and Dirty, have a fluidity to them. And so like I really do love paying tribute, and I really love giving it up to the
reference
things.
humor.
Reference
we love
humor.
reference humor. We use it all the time, Remington Steele.
All the time, Remington Steele. And so I love it, and I specifically love this queen, and I love her references. But like Very Mary Kate is a specific intellectual property of Elaine Carroll, who, I mean, I literally walk around saying, "Oh no, Phil Hoffman." Like, so when she even makes the offhand,
Gross.com/penis. We say these things all the time.
yeah, you've got a chip on your dick. I mean, a dick on your
And a dick
shoulder.
on your shoulder.
We say this stuff, and so like for
So-
Perla to literally use the Phil Hoffman joke. Why did Phil Hoffman come up? Because it's a specific reference verbatim to a specific YouTube video. I feel like the reason I'm annoyed is because if this was a better known bit, you
Well,
would have heard by now you're copying Amy Schumer. What's going on? And I
And
picked
here's
somebody
the
who
thing.
copies everyone.
you said Phil Hoffman, but the problem is it has now continued into a second week where we have now noted that she is literally doing specific exact quotes and jokes from Elaine Carroll's Very Mary Kate. I can't find the exact sketch. I can only find a later one that references the earlier sketch
one.
that I sent to Tori. But literally, Very Mary Kate white noising herself to sleep by saying rainforest is from the thing.
I used to
And
use it to
again-
put myself to sleep.
We do reference humor. We're not saying that we don't, but it's really noteworthy as people who are both such huge fans of these two different things to be able to say that's at least the second joke that we have noted where it is literally verbatim from Elaine Carroll.
And I'm honestly very shocked because I did a little poking around in the Reddits and the drag wikis and all of these things, and I was kind of surprised that no one has said anything. But it is what, a 12-15-year-old video at this point, more, and it's on Canada.
Ooh.
Fewer people are watching.
Here's the
So-
thing. Jonah can tag in because who was Elaine Carroll married to but the owner or runner or whatever of Dropout, Sam Reich, and the Dropout actually does work regularly with drag queens. So actually, Dropout ranges into the drag sphere. So they do know Elaine Carroll, and that is traceable. Just a thing to note.
True.
It's tough. It's that
Yeah.
Kevo. What was that? Oh God, what was her name? Kevo and I watched this amazing video about this brilliant, bold, amazing musician who was revealed was one song
Oh,
by one
yeah.
artist and 11
no, they
songs
literally-
by Jessica Simpson.
It was 3 basically free database music songs, and then the entire rest of the album was just all the deep cuts from old Jessica Simpson albums that people just don't know because who remembers that?
Well,
Oh,
actually,
so
no, one of them was
the-
one of them was I Think I'm in Love, and it was just titled
Yeah.
Boy I Think. Like,
This is people saying, Imagine Dragons, how did you come up with that song that was by City High so many years ago?
it's how many people hit Lady Gaga's Born This Way with its Express Yourself, which was the joke I made about Woman's World. So
no one is saying like disqualify her, obviously.
Right.
But,
But I
we
would
are...
expect the same level of thing that Gottmik got. Because I think they both have similar fan bases. Love.
So it's unfortunate because I don't think it's okay to copy another artist's work verbatim simply because they were never successful. But I do think that Perla is a brilliant queen. She is unbelievably talented, fashionista, incredibly funny. Whether it is giving tribute to earlier comedic work or the stuff she says that's her own. The thing that I do sometimes find a little tricky is now I don't know what is her own and what stuff I just don't recognize.
Right. And now I am really anxious for her because now we are dwindled down to top 5. And now I am anxious to get to the roast challenge goes toward the end. And is she just going to pull out more Very Mary Kate jokes? I don't want to project that, but now I've seen it happen 2 weeks in a row. And so now I am anxious. And I don't know what to expect from her going forward because of this. And that's Roof. So
Yeah. Was this the top 5 that people thought it would be?
I did think Xana would make it to the top 5, so not.
I
No.
get that.
I thought Uma would be in the top 3. I really thought Uma was top 3. I thought she just was fucking weird enough and cool enough and Sasha Velour enough, and like I thought Perla is that same kind of cool and special and weird and different, and like even though it turns out she can also cackety cack like nobody's business, she's got that vibe of like original humor flavor. Like you could never guess what the and it's like guess the flavor inside the cake. You'd never guess when you bit in what Perla has. I thought Uma and she had that same kind of energy, and so I guess I couldn't have imagined both of them making it. I just
Episode
don't think
1,
both
I
would've.
thought. Episode 1, I thought Uma was going to be very high, but as the show kept going, I kept thinking that she probably was not going to be in the top 5. 100%, I thought Minnie would be gone every week. I think Minnie will be gone, and not. I don't know. Every week I think she's going to be gone. And
I thought Jaylene was gonna be here.
Yeah.
You thought who, Jonah?
Jaylene.
Yeah.
I didn't think
From-
Jaylene, unfortunately, would make it to the top because I could see the places where it's just her,
Stacked
not
against
just for
her.
age, but her temperament is not the show.
Yeah.
I thought she would probably go right around here.
Mm.
I thought
From-
Minnie would have gone a while ago. I could have seen Jaylene lasting until now. And I thought the top 5 would be everybody here except Minnie. I'm not sure if Helena will be. I think Helena may be the next to go, or maybe Perla. But at this point, I'm happy with whatever configuration the top 4 and 5 and 3 is. I will be perfectly happy. They're all very deserving in their own ways. I've been most pleasantly surprised to really fall in love with Helena, who I did not enjoy at all for the first half of the show.
Mm.
And now I think she's amazing.
I have there's like a solid chunk of me that thinks this might be the slow flame out of Virgo Queen who doesn't make it to the finale.
Oh,
I think
dang.
I think we might be setting up for that. And I think it might be a Michaela sends her home kind of deal. I don't know, because that's the only person who at this point could probably send her home. I don't think they'd give it to Perla over her in a lip sync challenge, but I do think that if Virgo slips again, I think that might be against the right person. I think that might be, because I think at this point they basically like co-signed Minnie goes to the finale, it's Michaela, and then it's really just I think Helena, if they do 4 to the finale, I think Helena goes just so that they can have the easy pull, and then it's the final 3. But I don't think Virgo Queen's finale placement is as solid as it looked in the beginning.
All right, I want to start doing wrap ups because as much as I love this episode of Canada, I don't think we can talk more. So Kevo, do me a favor. Can you bring up a full group shot? And I want to start with you and just kind of ask as we go in top 5. What are your final thoughts as we wrap this big guy up?
Let's see. We have Minnie, Carla, Helena, Virgo, and Michaela. You know, I feel like at the beginning of this episode, I would have said my likelihood of the top 3 for this finale would have been Minnie, Michaela, and Xana. I feel like they are giving such strong personalities. But I feel like that third slot could be swapped out for Perla or Helena.
I love that. And, you know, I don't think any of us saw Minnie Wang coming, Kevo, to this point. And speaking of something nobody's seen coming, Tori.
Oh.
I think we have something coming.
We do.
I think we do. And we were thinking about debuting it this week. I think we're going to debut it next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tori, what do we got cooking?
We, folks, are about to embark on something that is a little fantastical and a little dragtacular. And we are going to run our own kind of like all-star season. We're going to fantasy draft a team of queens, pit them against each other in challenges every week based upon stats that we have tirelessly calculated out ahead of time. And we are going to bring you the battles as we go every week. Super excited. I think we have 12 weeks planned towards the finale, so we'll probably have a finale before RuPaul does, and I'm very, very excited to see how we all do. I am extremely competitive, as everyone on this panel knows, so bring your A game, fellas.
Well, and I want to say this is gonna be a praise party only. We will be releasing only top stats, no bottom stats. Every queen gets a superlative about what we love about them. This is drag is a full love contact sport. And so we will be full love contact all over these. Oh God, no, that's how you get banned from DragCon. Yeah, it goes a long, long way. And so until we lift up to a brighter day, Tori, it is so spectacular to see you here in such fabulous makeup. And before you kick it on over to Jonah, can you tell us where everybody can find you online, who your top queen in Canada is, and then Jonah do the same?
You can find me online at SM Tori. That's Tori with an I. My top Canada queen, the one I want to win or the one who will win?
It's all yours. You pick the superlative.
Oh, honestly, who I want to win is, at this point, I really think I really like what Minnie Wang is bringing in. I think that'd be very sweet. I would be so excited, but I think it's Michaela's to lose.
I love that.
Mr. Jonah.
Her last name is Couture, Tori, not Michaela's to lose.
Michaela to lose.
Good one. Write that down.
Well, and her sister Nestle Toulouse.
Flowers.
And their weird cousin, too strict, too tight, too to tight, too to tight, too to tight. Everyone, I'm gonna keep saying it. Please. You can find me places at Peak Jonah. Who I think will take it. I have 3 answers. Who I think they're going to give it to. I think they've been setting up a Virgo Queen win since roughly the first episode. So I think it's where I think production will go. Where I think the fandom wants it will be Minnie. And in my heart, which I will be very happy with for Minnie, she's had such a stark turnaround for me in terms of how I initially thought she probably gave a little bit of mid to early out, but seeing her be so well versed and so great at Drag Race has been really enjoyable, and seeing her so seeing somebody who's so mature and wisdomly be able to impart that wisdom onto some other people, I think is absolutely fantastic and very becoming of a winner. In my heart of hearts, it's Helena. I don't think Helena's going to win. Helena may not have a shot unless she wins next week, but in my heart of heart, it's Helena.
Amazing. Love it. Love that we can find you at Peak Jonah. Kevo, you've already given us your feedback, your vibes, but if you do have a final answer on Top Queen and where we can find your hot, sexy producing ass.
Yeah, no, I really love Minnie. It's sort of a Tommy the Green Ranger situation where I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, it's because he's hot. No, not excessively. Would smash, but not like, hounding for it. I really love the story, and I think that he has given a lot this season, and I really, really love the idea of him winning. So that is what I'm putting my vote on, and you can find me on the socials at Kevo Really. That's KEVO
TK, I guess. So then it's who's your would smash. However you do want to answer it. Your winner, who you think will win, whatever makes you feel good, and where we can find you.
I think Virgo's probably going to win, although I do think Michaela is that bitch and has a very strong chance of winning. My girl is, it was Perla, but I'm very mad about this Elaine Carroll situation, and really got to deal with that. I'm not cool with that, Miss Perla. But I still love Gottmik, who stole an entire routine from former guest of my B&B, Nikki Glazer. So,
we're just dropping names in the carpet these days. Pick it up, the vacuum will choke.
I got to do what I got to do. Nikki, if you're watching, I'm sorry, it was not my best moment, but I did wake up at 3 a.m. to carry your bags downstairs, so you're welcome.
He will do it. He will do it.
I'll do
Great
it. All you gotta do is
place.
ask. Celebrities, please stay here. Pay lots of money.
It's fantastic.
Probably gonna be Virgo. I think it could be Michaela. I do love Perla. I was so charmed by Helena. If any of those four get it, I'll be super happy. I suppose Minnie deserves it. I just Minnie. That's what I have to say about that. NICO, answer your own damn question, NICO.
I definitely would like it to go to Minnie, but think the top two is going to be Michaela versus Perla. And I'm just not sure how it's going to shake out. But I do love that, like Cinderella's mice, we got a Perla and a Suzie going on right now. And that's super adorable. If you guys want to check me out, NICO Action, NICO-ACTION, NICO Action Music, NICO-ACTION, you're going to be able to check out the singles that have been playing in the background the last couple of weeks, Fever Fire and Third Saturn. They're definitely be dropping on SoundCloud and YouTube. You're going to want to check them out. They're super cool. But otherwise, you guys can check the show out. HTML Husbands Talking More or Less. X is for podcast, X is for show. But 3 things you guys can do for us when you guys are commenting, subscribing, because man, do we love how that affects the algorithm. You guys can, number 1, stay safe. It's like 2 degrees out wherever you are. I don't fucking care. It's cold. Number 2, be brave, because we want to see you guys keep doing your art no matter how bad the day you get caught on is. Your art is beautiful. You're beautiful. Never stop. But number 3, evolve daily. Who you were yesterday, incredible. Who you are today, amazing. Who you are tomorrow, more valid than ever. And we can't wait to see it and be there with you. But until then, stay true, north, fierce, and United Airlines. Thanks for flying, and we'll see ya.
Bye.